Hello everybody and welcome to this week's video. Sorry about the lighting once again. It's night time. I needed to film. The light has been put on. I am reading some of my one of my most anticipated reads of the year in this video, and I cannot wait. So we are reading 3 new releases from the month of May. They all, I think, came out on the same day, or one of them came out on the 20th maybe. And then another book on top of that, which will be explained momentarily. So I am of course going to start with my most anticipated release of the month, Hat Trick by Chelsea Curto. I have fallen in love with the DC Stars series and I can't wait for this. Riley is just a cutie pie. And like, hello, the cover? What do you mean? So my plan is to read up to page 100. I've already pre-put the bookmark in because it's on Kindle Unlimited. And I must say as well, thank you to Bestie Cleo, who sent me this as a late birthday gift, and I was just so happy. I literally cried. It was so nice of her. So thank you to Cleo for sending me this. But I'm gonna start this as soon as possible, and hopefully I'm gonna love it and binge read the whole thing. So that is book number 1 we will be reading. Then a recent favourite of mine is Annabelle Monaghan, who has also come out with a new release called It's a Love Story. I know nothing about this, but I'm going to read it. It's also on Kindle Unlimited. I'm so happy about that because I love reading on my Kindle. So very excited to read this one as well, although I know nothing about it. And then our third book for the video is a 2-parter. We've got A Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, which from what I can tell is an interconnected standalone linked with her last book. No, this isn't even her last book. Her last book was Deep End. What am I on about? It's linked in to Not in Love, which I haven't read. So again, I've pre-put the bookmark in to read 100 pages of this as well, hopefully. That's what I do to motivate myself, is put the bookmark in, then start the book. I don't know if it works, but we'll give it a go. So I need to read this as well throughout the week to try and get to this one, which is the one I actually want to read. This is an age gap trope, I believe. Does it say on the back what it is? I don't think it does. But it's like a brother's best friend or a best friend's brother. Something like that with an age gap, which I am so looking forward to reading. I love an age gap romance. So, and obviously summer in the title. Get me in the mood for summer. I'm so ready for the sunshine to come back. It's been cloudy and hot. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants cloudy and hot. So hopefully by the time I get to this, it will be nice and sunny outside again. But those are our contenders for this week, and as I said, I'm going to be starting with Hat Trick because I literally cannot wait any longer for this book. I need to read it immediately. So let's crack on with that. I think my camera is wonky, but for the purposes of this clip, I'm just going to leave it like that. I can't get it any better than it is. So I have read 200 pages of Hat Trick, and I'm so happy. I knew I was gonna love this book. I did not know I would love it this much. Oh my god, I actually can't. So here's how far in I am, by the way. As you can see on the front, obviously our main male character Riley is an amputee. I for some reason, the whole time I was reading the series, I knew this book was coming out and knew he was an amputee, and so in the first few books I thought he already had the fake leg. I was unprepared for seeing him lose his leg in this book. I cried within the first 100 pages of this book. It's so good. I can't tell you enough how much this book is incredible. The last book that came out was Slapshot. I think that came out in... was it March or April? It must have been April. So this is obviously like a quick turnaround to get another book, but that book I loved. It was a 5-star. This I think it's gonna be a 6-star read for me. It's got like the emotion, obviously losing a limb, it's got the emotional depth to support everything else that's happening. The characters have such good chemistry. We saw a bit of like flirting from them in the first 3 books because Riley's got a bit of a crush on Lexi all the time, and It's just so good. I actually love it so much. I cannot wait to continue it. But alas, I'm gonna have to wait because I've got a very busy weekend ahead of me, because tonight I'm seeing my friend in a play, hence the makeup. I'm like going out. And then tomorrow I've got my birthday party. I'm very excited about that. And then hopefully Sunday I can get around to finishing this. I don't know what the rest of my weekend looks like after Saturday, but this is it. I've also got Monday and Tuesday off work next week because they didn't schedule me, so that should be plenty of time to finish this and potentially finish another book in the next few days, and I'm very, very excited to do so. So hopefully the next time I check in, this will be finished. Is anybody surprised when I say this was a 5-star? I'm so happy this was a 5-star. This was definitely the most emotional of the DC Stars series, but I think it was a really nice change of pace to the normal, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, all of these books tend to follow the same, oh, they're so hot, but I don't want to date right now. I don't want to date them. So we'll just do it once and get it out of our system. Oh no, I've slept with them and now I'm going to keep sleeping with them. Oh, now I'm in love with them. That's the format these books follow, and I don't have a problem with that because I've ate up every single one of these books. But this was really good because it had that, like, I don't want to say more emotional depth, because all of these books have had emotional depth to them, but obviously losing a limb is a very different kind of emotional depth to, oh, I'm a woman on the team and I don't feel like I belong, or something like that, if you catch my drift. But obviously 5-star, very much recommend this entire series. I'm loving every single book. I cannot wait for the next one. Oh, my nose is really itchy. My nose gets itchy every time I film. This is like a curse. So I don't actually know what I want to pick up next. My gut instinct is telling me to read Not in Love and then read It's a Love Story and then read A Problematic Summer Romance, because I feel like I can't do 2 Ali Hazelwoods back to back. I don't know if my brain can handle that. But I don't know, not in a reading slump. I just don't want to read a physical book right now. I can't be asked to sit and hold it. So I've actually bought Not in Love and Problematic Summer Romance on my Kindle because they were only about £5 each, which I think is like fair enough. And like, girl math, I bought this so long ago that it was free. That money isn't money to me anymore, you know. I hope someone understands that, but that's my logic, is that I can buy it on my Kindle because I bought it so long ago that money didn't exist to me. So I don't know what I'm going to pick up next, but whatever it is going to be on my Kindle now, which does not make for fun reading content. So I think there won't be any like reading bits to this video. It's just going to be me chatting, which I hope is okay, but mentally I'm not quite with it this week. I had a draining weekend, so that's where I'm at. I feel like this is such an anticlimactic video, but I'm going to pick up one of these books. This does have a bookmark in it, but as I said before, I was just trying to hype myself up to read 100 pages of this. It's not worked. I haven't picked it up. I think I read 5 pages physically and went, no, I need this on my Kindle. I want to read on my Kindle. So I guess it'll be a surprise what I pick up next. I don't know what I'm actually going to read. Maybe I'll start all 3 of them. That's the kind of chaotic energy I bring to these videos sometimes. So maybe I'll start... Well, I can't start Problematic Summer Romance without reading this in my brain because they're interconnected. So maybe I'll start It's a Love Story and Not in Love at the same time. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. So I'll get back to you when I've started reading one of these books, I suppose. Don't know when that will be, but I'm on a deadline now. I've got 2 weeks to read these books in. I don't know if it's gonna get done. Hopefully. But we'll see. So as you saw in my last clip, just of like the little chapter, maybe you know, maybe you don't, that was from Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, and I have now finished this book. I bought it on my Kindle and I read it on there, and I really didn't like this book. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I've seen a lot of people say this is their least favourite of Ali Hazelwood's books. For me, it was marketed as an erotica, I think, wasn't it? Like, it was the most erotic of her books. Like, you have these two characters that are just meeting up from like a dating app, kind of like a hookup app, and it's meant to be like this big exploration of sexuality and stuff. No, I don't think that's what it was, but I don't think the romance was good enough to classify it as a romance either. It was just a bit boring. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about it. I'll tell you obviously what's on the back of this book. So you've got Rue, our main female character, is she a biofuel scientist? She's a scientist of some description. And she is trying to come up with or experiment with ways to preserve produce for as long as possible. And she works for this is it a startup company? Called Klein, which is owned by one of her closest friends, and so she's got like this verbal, like kind of written verbal contract with her friend about her aspect of this company. She does it all on her own, is not linked to the rest of the company. It's very much like a standalone project going on, and this company that she works for is being, I don't think it's being bought out. A deal is being made basically with this company, their business partner, called Harkness, which is where our male love interest works, and his name is Eli. And that's like, they hook up, there's an attraction, he becomes obsessed with her basically straight away, very insta-lusty, and it was just not good. It was just not good. I think, and Ali Hazelwood's books tend to do this, which is why I'm not, like, I don't read them very often. Obviously, she's a woman in STEM, and she loves to write about women in STEM, but I feel like this one specifically, although it didn't go too far with the STEM aspect, this time it went quite far with, like, the business aspect of it, and, like, trying to explain all of this, like, I don't even know what it is. That's how confused I was. But all of these like depositions and stuff going on with this company that just weren't interesting. They were not interesting. So unfortunately, I'm actually giving this a 1 star. I think that's my lowest rating of the year that wasn't a DNF. I did finish it because I want to read Problematic Summer Romance, but even that, like, the setup for the next book in this book was done so poorly. It was like, oh, is your sister dating your boss? No, he's way too old for her. That's disgusting. And like, I'm in a relationship with an age gap that is fairly similar to the one that we will be following in Problematic Summer Romance, and to have to listen to characters and read these characters shitting on that relationship, I was like, I'm being attacked. That's what's happening in this book. So I didn't love the setup for the next book in this book, and I really hope this next book is better. I don't want 2 back-to-back books that are shit. I'm sorry, I don't. But I am going to go directly into Problematic Summer Romance. I've put my bookmark in again. I haven't actually started it. But I'm really hoping for something better in this. I know there's like a wedding aspect of this book, like they're going to a wedding or something. I tend to like that in books if it's done well. But I think that's the case with everything. You like something in a book if it's done well. If it's done poorly, you're obviously not going to enjoy it. So I'll be interested to see if this is any better than Not in Love. I've seen better reviews of this one in general, so hopefully it's good. I literally had to take a break from Not in Love and start reading something else. I've signed up for NetGalley, so I've got a few arcs that I needed to review. I was like, do you know what, I'm just going to pick up the smallest one and just read that as a little palette cleanser, because I really didn't like Not in Love. My poor boyfriend, he was trying to watch some gaming thing, and I was just sat there trying to read. I was like, this book is horrible. It switches perspective. That's something I noticed halfway through. Don't know how that slipped under my radar for the first 200 pages of this book, but everything from Rue's POV, our main female character, is in first person, and everything from Eli is in third person, and that boggled my brain. I was like, wait, she switched POV halfway through the book, and I was like, oh no, this has been going on the whole time and I just didn't notice. But once I'd noticed it, no, not for me. Stick to one POV, babe. If you can't write,
from Eli in first person and Rue in first person, don't even bother. Do not put that. I hated that. So 1 star for Not in Love. Hopefully something better for Problematic Summer Romance, but I will obviously let you know what I think of that when I finish it. So I'm up to chapter 9 of Problematic Summer Romance, and problematic it is, because remember how I said I'm in a bit of an age gap relationship, and it really grinds my gears when people talk shit about them, and how it's presented in books can actually be quite hurtful to people that are actually in those relationships. Yeah, it's happening. It's already happening. I don't want to hear the older love interest make comments about how the girl that he's going to be hooking up with and potentially in a relationship with is the person who's most recently still a child, and how she's got so much in common with an almost 2-year-old. Like, that's just weird. If there's going to be an age gap, you can't have them actively referencing how young a person is, or how old a person is for that matter. Like, you can't have reference to the age gap being big in a problematic manner. And in my mind, this is problematic because he's comparing this girl to an actual child, like a baby. And I know if that was said about me in my relationship, I would be livid, and it would very much make me uncomfortable. So far, not so good. I'm hoping it gets better, but at the moment it's not looking great. I feel like I started this video so long ago, and I have not done very many updates for it, but I have officially finished all of the books for this video, and I've got the hiccups, so sorry about that. But I finished all the books for this video. I don't think I actually gave final thoughts on 2 of them, so I'll just do that as like my roundup now. So obviously the first book that I read was Hat Trick by Chelsea Curto, and this was a 5-star. This was incredible. I feel like this is the most emotional of Chelsea Curto's books that I have read, because I've only read the DC Stars series. I fully intend to go back and read her backlist because I love all of these books so much. But yes, this is a 5-star for me. I think I've probably said before, but obviously this follows Riley, who loses his leg in an accident, and Lexi, who is the team's, not trainer, what am I trying to say? Like, doctor? I don't think that's what she is either. Athletic trainer, that's what she is. And it's just the sweetest story ever. I loved this so much. It's very much a friends to lovers moment, and this was perfect. In my opinion, you could not have improved this if you tried. Then a book that I did not love at all, actually, title very accurate, I am not in love with this book. This book sucked. This book sucked. I gave this 1 star. I gave it 1 star. I didn't like either of the characters. I thought most of the plot was fairly boring. I quite liked the like lawyer aspect, like the deposition and stuff, but overall this book was not for me. 1 star. And I read that book entirely so I could read this next book, which makes what I'm about to say so upsetting. I DNF'd Problematic Summer Romance because it was big on being problematic. I think I gave my thoughts. I only read 100 pages of this book. For me, that's enough for me to put it towards my reading goal, because novellas can be 100 pages and I would count them. So it is being counted towards my reading goal. But this book, the premise was so good. A destination wedding in Italy. That's forced proximity in my opinion. An age gap. I like age gaps. As I've mentioned before, my boyfriend is older than me. We classify it as an age gap. If we had a trope, that would be it. This was just terrible. The way they talked about the age gap just gave me the ick. Like, there was no coming back from calling her a child and saying she's got so much in common with a 2-year-old. Like, you've made it weird. You can't say those things about someone and then start fucking them. Like, no. And our main character, Maya, her obsession with the love interest, it felt unhealthy. It felt really unhealthy to be that obsessed with someone who's, like, clearly not interested in you and is actively talking down to you. Just not for me. So, DNF'd this. I'm genuinely baffled how this has got over a 4-star rating overall on Goodreads. I don't get it. I do not get it. So DNF for this one, and I am going to unhaul both Problematic Summer Romance and Not in Love because I don't want to look at them ever again. And then a book that I gave, I think, 0 updates on, but I did insert a clip of me crying, which I think tells you all you need to know. I read It's a Love Story by Annabel Monaghan, and I fucking loved it. I'm sorry that I seem to be swearing quite a lot, but this is incredible! This is definitely my favourite of Annabel Monaghan's books that I've read. I've only got one left to go, which is same time next summer, and I do intend to read it fairly soon. But this follows Jane, who, when she was a teen, she was on a TV show where she was like this massive nerd, like geeky character that no one was interested in. And now she is a Hollywood studio executive trying to get one of her previous co-stars to do the music for her new film. This film will only get greenlit if he's on the soundtrack, because they need like a big reason for it to be successful, and currently there's nothing going for it in the eyes of her boss. And so she ends up going to, what is it? Where is the place called? I don't remember what it's called because I don't live in America, so I don't know these places. But she basically needs to go to this town where there's a festival happening and her old co-star is performing, and she wants to track him down there and like ask him to be on her film, be on the soundtrack to her film. And she ends up going with her like work nemesis Dan, because it's his hometown and his parents are having their wedding anniversary, so everybody's going back. This was freaking adorable. This was so good. And it's got the emotional depth that Annabel Monaghan's books tend to have. You know, in the past it tends to be like a husband has left a wife and kids, and that's the thing. But in this book, it is that her dad left her mum when she was 5 and then died. And you sort of have this grappling with the, was I not wanted? Why did he leave? Was it my fault kind of thing? And it does cause a bit of a third act breakup, but I think it was done quite well as third act breakups go. It wasn't like anything that irritated me greatly. I could see exactly why it was needed, why it happened. Our character Jane definitely had some growth to be made before she could enter a relationship with Dan. But it was so good. I love this. At about 250 pages, I stopped reading it on my Kindle because I was like, no, I need to annotate this. And now I'm annoyed because I haven't annotated the first half, but like, there's a page where I highlighted like so much. Let me find it. I mean, that's a good example of me highlighting every word that is said. Is there another one where I've highlighted everything? I think there might be. Maybe that's it. But like, I just had a great time with this book. This was incredible. 5 stars. I think, oh, if I had to rank them, I think Hat-Trick would be higher up than It's a Love Story, but It's a Love Story was still great. Both the books made me cry. That doesn't happen as often as you'd think it would, but both books made me cry. So I got 2 5 stars, a 1 star and a DNF from this video, which feels so random, but I'm so happy I picked this up. I almost didn't because I was going to read Same Time Next Summer instead. Hopefully that is another amazing book, but this was awesome. I loved it so much and I highly recommend. So that brings me to the end of this video. I'm sorry I didn't do too many reading clips, but I literally read every single book on my Kindle, and I don't think that's interesting to watch. So there's a few little clips here and there. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you next week. Bye!